Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Craft Imaginations. Today we're going to be making a hand-painted stained glass. If you decide to follow along, these are all the tools you're going to need and I will link them down below. If you have any questions or if there's a portion of this video you'd like to see in full detail, please let me know down below. Here I'm starting by checking out the portion of the glass I'm going to use, then my tracing, and I'm using a water-based marker so that it can easily come off, and I traced the round shape I would like. I will tell you right now, that is the easiest part of this entire process. I am checking the width of my glass so that I have the proper size cutting tool, and you have to go in at an angle to cut your glass. Then use your glass pliers to pull your pieces apart, and then you just continue this process for the entire shape of your piece. You have to be careful to make sure that you get good angles, otherwise you're going to have a lot of cleaning up, which you will see later down this portion of the video. So here's me trying to clean up all the leftover pieces that I didn't get at the initial splicing of the glass. You can use your filers, or if you have a glass grinder, that's going to save you a lot of time. This definitely took me a lot to clean up. This is all done and filed, so now I'm just checking to make sure that it's exactly what I wanted. Next, you're going to use your copper foil tape. The black back tape is used if you're gonna be adding patina, but it's not required. In order for you to get a really good application of the tape, you should use it from down below going up, like driving on a road. You don't want to focus on the glass, you want to focus on the tape so that you can apply it evenly, and that's super important because it makes soldering easier. Use your varnishing tool to make sure you get that tape in there. You want it as seamless as possible in order for the solder to get in there evenly, and it's just going to make your job way easier. Definitely take your time in this process. It took me a little bit, and even though it looks done, I still went over a couple of times because you want to make sure that the tape is really in there. Here I am using the PBO glass paint. This one is 3-dimensional. All of these products that I am going to be using require baking. This part I am just outlining the image so that I can make it easier to add in the paint later. I will warn you that you should probably add the copper tape after you're done the painting and baking, because it makes soldering a lot harder. If you make a mistake in this section, you can clean it up by going in with a pick tool and helping you outline the parts that you messed up. After 24 hours, you can bake this, and or you can continue with your next section, and that is to apply your paint. All these paints are water-based. You want to make sure you do not use an oil base. So when you buy your PBO or whatever product you want to use, you want to make sure you look at the ingredients and or the manufacturer's recommendations. When you add your paint, you want to wait a few minutes between applications so that when you go over with another color or another coat, it doesn't come off. I recommend that you have a couple of different brush tips, and also depending on how you want to apply, you can make your paint thick or light depending on the effect that you want to accomplish. The next portion is adding flux to your copper foil to make sure that the solder adheres to it when you are applying to it. This portion is quite of a learning curve, I think, and you want to make sure that you're using the proper tool and the right temperature to make sure your solder is being applied properly, anywhere between 410 and 460 Celsius. Too cool and you're going to have a hard time applying it. Too hot, it is just going to run off your piece. In this section, I am adding some stainless steel jump rings and chain for the hanging part of my piece. I measure just to see where the center is, and then make a mental note where in the piece the jump rings should go. After adding some flux, I then solder the jump rings in place. I forgot to mention that you need to make sure that your paint dries for 24 hours before baking and before soldering. I hope you guys enjoy this really quick tutorial. Again, if there is any portions that you would like me to make a full video of, don't forget to mention it below. If you have any questions, I'm here to answer them. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.